mga magulang at mga estudyante. Welcome to Moving Minds and Bodies. My name is Hazel Peña, your host and a physical education instructor. Today, we're diving into an educational theory that isn't just about books and tests. It's about the whole person. Yeah, we're talking about humanism, and specifically how it can transform our PE classes from mere exercise routines into powerful experiences that build confident, capable, and joyful individuals. You know, sometimes PE gets a bad rap. Tandaan niyo ba yung PE lang mentality? It is a term coined by Dr. Dio Cares, a DOST balik scientist and neuroscience expert, that this term means giving less importance to physical education. This mentality is often depicted by many Filipino students that for them, ang physical education is no importance or para sa kanila, minor subject lang yan. Puro sayaw at puro laro until you drop or pampawala lang ng stress sa academic subjects without realizing that physical education is beyond all this. So, what if I told you that a humanist approach can make PE classes one of the most impactful subjects for students' lifelong development? What is humanism in education? At its core, humanism in education, inspired by thinkers like Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow, puts the whole student at the center. It's not just about dumping information, but it's about nurturing self-actualization, helping a person become the best version of themselves. Key principles of humanism are the following. We have number 1, student-centered learning. The student's interests, feelings, and experiences drives the learning. Second, positive teacher-student relationship, wherein the teacher is a facilitator and guide, not just a commander. Third, fostering self-esteem and intrinsic motivation, that learning should come from within, from personal joy and satisfaction, not just from grades or fear. And the last one, we have educating the whole person. It's not just about the mind or just the body. It's also the emotion, social skills, and values. So sa Tagalog, ito yung pagtuturong nakasentro sa mga bata na merong malasakit, pangunawa sa kanilang mga nararamdaman or interest. It's about connection before content. Humanism in action on the court and field. Ito yung practical na paggamit. So, how does this look in a noisy gym or on a sun-drenched field? Let me give you some real examples. Number 1, choice and voice in activities. Instead of saying na today we will all do basketball drills, why not try a skill station choice day? You're going to set up different stations, one for basketball shooting, one for badminton serves, one for dance step tutorials, and one for strength circuits with body weight. So, a humanist approach, kapag ikaw ay teacher na gumagamit ng humanist approach, you're going to say na, class, our goal today is to improve our coordination and power. So, you have 30 minutes to explore at least 3 stations that interest you the most. So, you're going to track your own progress. Ito ay nagpapakita ng respeto sa kanilang autonomy. A student who fears basketball might discover confidence in dance. Diba? Kung takot ka doon sa shooting, malay mo mas magaling ka sa dance. So, you're facilitating bilang isang guro. Hindi ka nagdidikta. Kumbaga, tinatanong mo yung students mo kung ano yung activity na gusto niyang subukan ngayon. The second example is the teacher as a facilitator and supporter. Imagine a student struggling to do a pull-up. The old school way might be to just shout na try harder. Pero kapag ginamitan natin to ng humanist approach, or halimbawa ako yun, sasabihin ko sa kanya na I see you're working hard on that pull-up. Great effort. Magaling. Kaya lang, nakikita ko rin na nahihirapan ka. So, kung gusto mong subukan yung negative pull-ups or gumamit tayo ng resistance band for support, andito lang naman ako para spot ka. Dito sa part na to, you're acknowledging their effort by providing a differentiated instruction and acting as a partner in their progress. So, yung relationship is built on trust. Na yung sinasabi mo sa estudyante mo na, kaya mo yan, sumusabay tayo para ganahan ka. Andito lang ako na nasa likod mo. Kaya mo yan. The third example is focusing on personal progress, not just performance. Hindi lahat ng estudyante can be the fastest runner or the highest jumper. So, you have to shift the metric. So, pag gagamit tayo ng humanist approach, you have to implement personal best portfolios. Halimbawa, in a running test, ang pinaka-focus is not on kung sino yung nauna, but rather doon sa part na, did you improve your time from last month? Nadagdagan ba siya? Or nabawasan? Or did you pace yourself better? O mas mabilis ba yung ngayon kumpara noon? So, kailangan mong i-celebrate yung part na halimbawa, dumagdag yung kanyang oras, naging mas maganda yung record niya ngayon. So, you have to celebrate that personal record as loudly as you celebrate the naturally athletic kid. Diba? Kung nakita mo na nag-improve siya, kailangan mong purihin siya sa part na yon. Kasi this builds intrinsic motivation. Yung pride that comes from within. Yung sasabihin mo lang na, ang galing, mas mabilis ka ngayon. Diba? Mas mabilis ka ngayon kaysa nang nakaraan. Congrats, magaling. You know? So, ito yung nagbi-build ng intrinsic motivation sa mga estudyante. Fourth example is integrating the affective domain. Do you know that PE is the perfect venue for social emotional learning? Kasi, karamihan dito, team sports or group activity. So, example lang natin is yung volleyball. Instead of just focusing on winning, lalong-lalo na kung alam nyo na medyo laglag na yung team, so, pwede magkaroon ng reflection session, lalong-lalo na pagkatapos ng laro. Pwedeng pag-usapan kung ano yung mga bagay na ginawa para suportahan yung isa't isa, or paano nila hinandle yung frustration of a missed serve or yung mga error. So, how can we make sure that everyone feels included in the next game? So, itong process na to, yung pagkakaroon ng reflection session, it builds empathy. The teacher or the humanist teacher ay nagtuturo ng life skills. Yung word na empathy. The next episode is the benefits in our school context. Ito yung epekto sa ating school or institution sa paggagamit ng humanist approach. So in our context, where resources might be limited but our students are full of potential, ang humanism is a game changer. Lalong-lalo na doon sa mga non-sporty na students. Kasi it reduces the fear and shame of PE. They stop thinking na mahina ako dito hindi ko kaya to. Kumbaga, kapag ginamitan na natin ng humanist approach, masasabi nila na I can work at my own pace and improve in my own way. Kumbaga, nagiging positive thinker sila. Hindi na sila nahihiya or natatakot because of using the humanist approach. Pagdating naman sa class management, when students feel respected and have choice, yung kanilang behavioral issues often decrease. Kasi they are more engaged because they have ownership. So, another benefits is for lifelong fitness. So, by making positive emotional connections to movement, we're not creating just athletes for a season, but we're creating individuals who might choose to dance, hike, or pick up basketball. Kasi it brings them joy, hindi trauma. Last benefits in our school context is for school culture. A PE class that celebrates effort, inclusivity, and personal growth sends a powerful message to the whole school or institution that every person here is valued for who they are and what they can become. So my fellow educators, especially my PE colleagues, let's challenge ourselves. The next time we step onto the field, let's bring more than just a whistle and a lesson plan. Let's bring a humanist heart. Start small. Tomorrow, try giving one meaningful choice. Make it a point to give a specific positive feedback to 3 students who are trying hard, regardless of skill level. Ask them how they feel about an activity. Remember, we are not just teaching sports. We are using sports and movement to teach life. We are building resilience, joy, and confidence. One game, one lap, one high five at a time. Thank you for listening to Moving Minds and Bodies. If you have stories of how you've used a humanist approach in your classes, I'd love to hear them. Share your thoughts and experiences. This is Hazel Peña, reminding you that the most important muscle we can help build is the one inside our chest, the heart and mind of a lifelong learner. Hanggang sa muli, keep moving and keep believing in your students' potential.